Right, hello everyone. I will be taking you through the selective videos from now on. So these selective videos are for Power Mathematics, and these are the solutions videos for tests that you have done in class or at home, so wherever you've done these tests. Okay, so this is the first solutions video that we'll be going through for the year. Okay, it's important to know that you make sure that you watch these solutions videos every single week. So try not to miss any if possible. Okay, even if you do, try and come back to some of them and rewatch them. Okay, they will stay up for a week or so, but if you can, please try and watch them as soon as they come out. This is because it's really important. Like, if you don't do that, it's going to be hard to improve your maths and exam skills. So these, if you sit the test but don't know what you got wrong, okay, there's no point in sitting those tests. So these solutions videos are so you know what you did wrong, and so you can improve on those mistakes, okay, and be aware of them in the future. Now, before I get started with the solutions, I'd like to take a quick overview of a few topics that might have been a bit difficult, that might have been a bit time consuming, and so these are a few know-hows on how to save time and stop making mistakes in exams. The first thing we're going to look at is converting percentages to decimals to fractions or vice versa, because this can be pretty difficult or confusing sometimes. So basically all you really need to remember is that a decimal equals a percentage over 100. Okay, so if we have 0.9, okay, that is equal to the percentage of 90%. Why? Because what divided by 100 equals 0.9? 90. Okay, so a decimal is percentage over 100, and the fraction, okay, is that decimal in, or that decimal divided, or percentage divided by 100, okay, in fraction form. So it's a decimal in whole number form. So for example, let me clarify what I mean. So if I have 0.75, okay, and I want to convert it to a decimal, okay, it's 75 divided by 100, right? So if I want to convert it to a percentage, it's 75 divided by 100, or 75 over 100. So I'm not going to take it any further from here, okay, because that is my fraction. Now, if you want, okay, you can simplify it. So when I say don't take it any further, I mean don't make it into a decimal. So you can simplify it and it'll become 3/4. Now, so this is a pretty good tip if you're converting from percentages to fractions and you're confused. Okay, so first try and convert it into a decimal, and then so convert it into a decimal, and then leave that decimal in a whole number form. Okay, so this will make it easier to convert to a fraction or a percentage from a decimal. So that decimal is kind of a midway point. Now, when we have fractions and we're trying to add them all together, okay, a lot of the what we need to do is we need to find LCM, or lowest common denominator. And what we don't want to try and do is multiply all the denominators together. We want to try and find the smallest denominator we can to save us some time. So for example, if we have 4 over 12, 8 over 16, and 1 over 24, we're trying to add them together, I'm not going to try and multiply all three of those denominators together. Why? Because it's going to give me a massive number. It's going to be a waste of time. The most important thing to do with fractions all the time is to simplify. So that should say simplify, not simply. So simplify everything if you can. Okay, simplify every fraction first. So 4 over 12 becomes 1 over 3. 8 over 16 becomes half. 1 over 24, we can't simplify that anymore. It just becomes 1 over 24. Now, in this case, the lowest common multiple is 24. So all our denominators, okay, can fit into 24. So 3, 2, and 24 can all fit into 24. Okay, so I'm going to try and make every single denominator into 24. So 1/3, multiply top and bottom by 8, okay, to make the denominator 24. You can't just multiply the bottom, because then you're just completely changing the fraction. Okay, 8 over 24 and 1 over 3 is the same value. Same thing with the half, multiply top and bottom by 12, and then leave the 1 over 24. And then this should give you 21 over 24. Okay, so that's how we add fractions together. Now, when we're multiplying by fractions, this is a good tip when you're multiplying by fractions. Always divide by the denominator before you multiply by the numerator. So fraction is basically just times by the numerator, divide by the denominator. So if you have 3/4. Okay, it's the same as times 3 divided by 4. Okay, if you have times 3/4. Times 3 divided by 4. So for example, if I have 43 over 96 times 192, it's easier to divide 192 by 96 first, okay, and then multiply it by 43. Alright, and then you get quick answers and you can do them in your head as well. So keep in mind, it's about 10 times faster to do a question in your head, okay, than have to write it out or to use a calculator to calculate the answer. Okay, so if you can do it in your head, alright, that saves on writing time, saves on pressing button time, and just saves time in general. Okay, whereas if we try to multiply first, we can't do that in our head. So 192 times 43, alright, even I can't do that in my head. So you waste a few minutes doing those questions, and when minutes add up for each question, alright, that's when they accumulate and you lose like 20 minutes in the end, alright, which you could have spent doing other questions with more marks. Alright, so that was our overview. Alright, now we're going to get into our solutions. So 3/4 of 36 students like sport. Okay, 36 times 3/4, okay, divided by 4 is 9, times 3 is 27, so that's 27 people. And 1/9 of these students like to play squash, so that's 3. Okay, 3 like to play squash. And so how many students don't enjoy playing squash, okay, out of the people that play sport? So there's 27, 3 like squash, means 24 don't like squash. Now, question 2. Faith worked on an architectural project for half of Monday, so that's 12 hours. 3 hours on Tuesday, 1.5 on Wednesday. So 12 hours, and then on Tuesday and Wednesday combined is 4.5 hours. Okay, so there's a total of 7.5 hours of a difference. So Karen is twice as old as Tammy, so K equals 2T. Eve is 5 years older than Tammy, so E equals T plus 5. And so together they add up to 37. So Karen plus Eve plus Tammy equal 37 years old. Karen is just the same as 2T though, so I'm going to replace these. E is just the same as T plus 5 plus T equals 37. So 2T plus T plus 5 plus T. So that's 4T plus 5 equals 37. Move the 5 over, it becomes minus 5. So 4T equals 32. T equals 8. Okay? So Tammy equals 8. Now, we have some scientific notation. So this is just writing everything as times 10 to the power of something, right? So what we wanted to do is split everything up into different units. So 3 million, what's that? So million is 6 zeros, okay, or timesing by 10 6 times. So it's going to be 3 times 10 times 10 times 10, blah, 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 6 times. So it's going to be 3 times 10 to the power of 6. Now 200,000 is going to be, okay, 1 0 less than that. So 2 times 10 to the power of 5, and then 40,000 is going to be 1 0 less than that. So 4 times 10 to the power of 4. Okay, which answer gives us that? B does. Now, question 5. So Parramatta Eels, okay, won 11 out of 34 games. Sydney Roosters won 26 out of 78. So what was the first thing we wanted to do with fractions? We want to simplify them. So let's divide top and bottom. So 11 is a prime number, so it doesn't get any simpler than that, okay, because we can't divide the denominator by 11. So we can divide 26 and 78 by 2 though, so that should give us 13 over 39. Okay, and then we can divide top and bottom by 13. So it's the same as 1 over 3. Now, 1 over 3 is bigger than 11 on 34. How do I know that? Because if this was 1 over 3, okay, it would be 11 over 33. Okay, but the denominator is bigger, so it's 34, meaning that 11 out of a bigger portion than 33 is going to be less than 1/3. Okay, so if I have 33 slices of cake and I take 11 of those, okay, it's more than taking 11 out of 34 slices of cake. Okay, so I'm going to have more pieces of cake left over if there are 34 slices of cake. So 1/3 is bigger than 11 over 3/4, over 3 over 34. Okay, so Sydney Roosters have actually won more games, so they have a higher average. Now, 6, Patrick waited for his friend Sam to pick him up from the station, so he waits a long time. So Sam takes a shower for 17, dresses for 8, cooks and ate breakfast for 46 minutes, took 7 minutes to check everything. And so what does this add up to? This is 25, this is 53, and then together they add up to 78. Now, Patrick had to wait 1.5 hours for Sam to pick him up. So there was some driving time. How long was it? So 1.5 hours is 90 minutes, minus 78 equals 12. So it took 12 minutes for Sam to drive from his home to the station. Now, last question. So Philip got out of an Edu Kingdom class at 1:30, talked with a friend for 1/12 of an hour. So 1 hour and 60 minutes. 1/6, okay, equals 10 minutes. So 1/12 is going to be 5 minutes. Okay, so this is 5 minutes. He then walked to the bus stop, which took 1/30th of an hour, so 60 divided by 30 is 2 minutes. He waited 6 minutes for the educated bus, and then that took 16 minutes to drive him home. It's going to be 5 plus 2 plus 6 plus 16. Okay, that's 7. That's 22. So in total, it took 29 minutes to get home. Okay, 29 plus when did he start? 1:30. He's going to get home at 1:59 p.m. Alright, so gets home at 1:59 p.m. Alright, so that brings us to the end of our first video for selective maths. Okay, I hope that was okay. So a few key points to take away from this video is when we're converting from fractions to percentages, if you get confused, okay, use those decimals, okay, as a middle or intermediate point, or that stepping stone to get to your final conversion. Okay, now when we're adding fractions, make sure you find the denominator, but make sure it's the lowest common multiple that you're using. Don't just multiply all the denominators together. And finally, when we're multiplying by fractions, okay, always divide first. You want to make it simpler, you want to make it smaller, and then you can multiply the numerator to make it bigger. Why? Saves time, saves brain cells as well. Alright, so good. That's the end of our video. I will see you all in the next video. Okay, please make sure you are attending all these videos. Alright, see you next time.